Good morning. The secret of happiness is giving up personal attachments, recognizing that nothing and no one truly belongs to us, since all is God's.
Good morning, everyone. Let's start with a prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, great masters, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Shri Yukteswarji, beloved Master Paramahansa Yogananda Ji, saints of all religions, we bow at thy feet. We ask thy blessings on our lives. May we dive ever deeper into the self, into thee. Bless our class this morning with thy divine presence. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We'll hear a song and then listen to Swamiji for a few minutes, and then we'll go into this topic of seclusion, the price of greatness. Welcome again.
Call you, my Lord, long I've called. Long I've called you, my Lord, long I've called you. Many years I have longed for your sight. Bathe the darkness with tears of devotion. Offered candles in prayer to your light. How much longer, friend, must I cry your name? I am yours, ever yours. Will you come? Long I've called you, my Lord, long I've called you. Many years I have longed for your sight. Bathe the darkness with tears of devotion. Offered candles in prayer to your light. How much longer, friend, must I cry your name? I am yours, ever yours. Will you come?
Well, if you can just practice it, I'm not dogmatizing you. I say give it a try. Go to some quiet place for a while. I've told you first, yes, I'm bargaining with you, meditate even 5 minutes. 15 minutes is better, half an hour is better. 1 hour and a half is a good basic meditation program for every true, sincere meditator to do every day. But you know, at least once a year, if you could go away for a week and not think of anything, not have any other duty, but really apply your mind strongly to the practice of japa, of talking to God in your mind, and take walks when you need to walk, and certainly you need to keep your body fit. And while you're walking, then try to feel his energy walking through you. Now, that's another point I want to mention. This man was sitting there for 6 months, and he wasn't doing exercise. Did his body deteriorate? The interesting thing is that when you go into deep meditation, you become in touch with the medulla oblongata, which is the door through which the energy comes into the body. Jesus Christ put it in the New Testament, "Thou shalt not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God." The word is the vibration, and the mouth of God is the medulla, because it's through here that the energy came into the body, and it's through this point, the medulla, that the energy enters the body, and the greater the will, my guru used to say, the greater the flow of energy. And indeed, when you go into a breathless state, you get put in tune with that flow of energy. When that yogi came out of his meditation, and we don't know when he did, because this man I met went on and didn't try to interrupt him. But when he did, you can be sure he was full of energy. And it's not the same thing as needing exercise. He was getting that for which exercise was designed, drawing energy into the body. But nonetheless, when you go for, let us say, a week, don't talk to anybody. Write notes if you have to communicate. Keep your mouth shut. It's a good way of keeping your brain a little quiet. Then meditate as long as you can. 8, 12 hours is good, but that may be asking too much of most people. That's all right. When you aren't meditating, read uplifting literature. And when you go for walks, as I said, try to feel the divine energy flowing through you. Try to practice japa, chanting the name of God all that time. And you will see that at the end of that time, it's very nice. It's a wonderful feeling. In fact, it's not easy to leave it. I remember I had to come from 2 weeks of that down into the plains to give lectures, first in Shimla, then in Patiala, then in Delhi, in Chandigarh. This was in 1959. But I tell you, that peace that was created by that was wonderful. And it lasted a long time. Once, back in 1952, after my guru left his body, I came back. I went out for a period of meditation, for a period of seclusion. And during that period, I came upon a great inspiration, and I came back with ideas to reorganize our whole main office, and it was accepted, so that's what they did. But after very hard work of a year and a half, I thought, I just have to rest. I went off and meditated. I tried to, but I was so tired I couldn't. And so I got some rest, but without deep meditation, when I came back, I didn't feel for very long the rest that I had gained. The next time I went out there, I rested well for 2 days, and then I began to work. Meditation is hard work in that way. But when I did, that peace that I gained was mine for many months. So I recommend that. This song, "Thy light within us shining," may that light shine always within you. Joy to you.
Good morning again, friends. I'm so happy to be able to share with you on this topic of seclusion. And I'd like to make it realistic for you. I want to talk on this level of, as many people have asked about seclusion, retreat, how do I take time alone? So I want to break it up in this way. What, who, when, where, and how. And then I'll end with the benefits of it. So in thinking about what seclusion is, it's a time alone where you're not around anybody else. It's a time that you take that's by yourself. It's a time to recharge yourself spiritually, to meditate more deeply. What Swamiji was saying there, it's an important time in the life of a disciple, of a devotee, taking the time away from the world, away from your duties, away from your family, away from your responsibilities, and taking the time with God and gurus. Now, why do we need that time? Because we get run down. Our spiritual batteries get run down from all the things that we're engaged in all the time, and at our work and online and on the phone and the WhatsApp and the Twitter, and it goes on and on and on. And people are completely wrapped in those things. And we have so little time to put aside for meditation and for God. We have to balance that out. And as Swamiji said, once a year, take the time to balance your brain, to balance your energy, balance yourself so that you become more centered in your life altogether. Then more clarity, more joy, all the things that are inside of you that are a bit buried when we are so much engrossed in all the things of everyday life. Even when we have free time, people turn on the television or they go online more. So it's a time to remember who and what we really are inside. That's really what seclusion is, a time to remember, to recall that we are a part of God. The wave is a part of the ocean. Now, who can do this? It's anybody who feels that they want to deepen their meditation, they want to deepen their spiritual life. And I want to say this, when and how long. I want to make this realistic. Now, a seclusion, Swamiji was talking about a deep seclusion that he was in. I mean, meditating 8 to 12 hours a day. I don't think there are very many people that I know of who can do that. Maybe a few. But your seclusion can be, when I first got on the path, I made my seclusion every week 6 hours. And it was 6 hours on Saturday mornings. And I did a half a day. And I did it for years, half a day. By the time I got up to 12 o'clock noon, I did yoga postures, I did energization, I did chanting, I read my spiritual books, I listened to talks, I meditated as much as I could. I couldn't meditate very much, but I kept putting it together with the other practices. And that really got me going spiritually. I cut that time out. And this is what I want to say, schedule it. This is what Jayaji was saying the other night in another class, schedule it. That every Friday night, Sunday morning, Saturday night, Sunday night, whatever, this is my time. Now that's a mini seclusion. Then you can go into doing a whole day, 1 day a week, or 1 day a month, or it really is up to you. Then some people do a weekend a month, a weekend every 3 months. It's really depending on your own schedule and how much you want to do it. Then it goes into longer times. Now, we're encouraged at Ananda, and we did this for years and years, and I still do, to take a week of seclusion. Now, not everybody does it, not everybody wants to do it, but a lot of people do. And that means that you're, instead of going on a vacation somewhere, maybe you go on a vacation and you have a seclusion, but you have a whole week where you're not on the phone, you're not on the computer, you're not going to your job. You're really spending a lot of time. Now, this is a marathon. I know a lot of you are athletic out there, and this is a marathon. If you can go a week without talking to anybody, that's hard for a lot of people. Without being around anybody else, without getting on your email and your WhatsApp and all the social media, boy, what a difference it will make. And so, and how long to do it is up to you. From half a day to a week to 2 weeks. I know people who've done a month or even longer, but really you have to feel like it's the right time for you. It's not forced. You feel inspired. You can go in for a week and end up doing a day or 2 days. If you feel like I can't do it, you come out of it. You don't force yourself to be there. So that's the amount of time. Now, what do you do when you're there? it seems like it would be very boring that you're just sitting there looking out the window or whatever, but it's very engrossing as you begin to cut the sense telephones and go inside. There's a whole nother world in there. And so what do? You meditate more. You do all the practices that you've been putting on the shelf because you don't have time. You do longer hung salt, longer om, more kriyas. You have a solid morning and evening and stretch it out. Start with what you can do. Now, let me back up a little bit. That Swamiji told us as he was saying there, he said you need a transition time between your life and going into seclusion. You don't just say, cut it, I'm going in seclusion now. So you need a day or a couple of days to just wind down to maybe you kind of a little mini kind of vacation, even you can say, but still by yourself. And you're winding down, and then you start with the longer meditations. And every day could get a little longer, make it shorter. Really, it's not a forced thing. It's not something that anybody even knows about. You don't tell people about your seclusion that, oh, I meditated, oh, I did this. And it's very private. So have it be as long as you feel comfortable, and start with that little transition time. And then, so you're doing the techniques, you're doing yoga, you're energizing at least twice a day, I would say. It's up to every individual, though. The other thing is you can listen to the talks of Master and Swamiji that you've probably been wanting to listen to for a long time, reading their books that you've been putting on the shelf for a while. All of these things. And another important thing is to exercise. Don't sit all day and just do nothing. You have to keep the energy moving, unless you're like that yogi who was sitting there in samadhi for 6 months that Swamiji was talking about. But go out and walk if you can walk. Walking is probably the best, but some people jog. It's up to the individual, but by yourself. And it may be that every hour you get up and you walk in place or jog in place or something, or maybe every 2 hours. You have to decide. But if the energy is dropping because you've been sitting on the couch for 5 days, that's not a seclusion. The energy has to be high to be able to dive deep in meditation. Calm, but high and a lot of energy. The result is you feel spiritually recharged. You're more magnetic. You're more energetic. You have more clarity. Inspiration is there. You're more attuned to the masters. And typically, maybe not. Sometimes it's something deep happens. Sometimes it doesn't. But the seclusions that I've taken, I'll never forget those times. It was so special. And if nothing, you feel like nothing happened, at least you had that time set aside with Master, the Masters, and with Divine Mother. That's your special time with God and gurus. So I think I'll end there because there are a few questions and I'd like to answer those. So I'll ask Nitendra to join me here and we'll see what there is. One last thing before we go into Nitendra, where. So the where of it is you can do it at home if it's possible, but there's so many distractions at home. If you can do it somewhere else, it's better, but in a holy place, near a holy place, somewhere, we would go to the meditation retreat at Ananda Village. You might go to the Pune retreat here. Typically, people know of some places that where it's quiet and there's nobody around, or just a few people around and you can be by yourself. Okay, so Nitendra?
Thank you, Dhyanji. We do have a few questions, and I also invite if someone has a question, they can put it on chat. We'll take them on priority.
Okay.
So the first question, Dhyanji, you answered it partially, but maybe if you have more thoughts on, why is a seclusion needed?
Well, yeah, I did answer that, but I would say this. At the beginning of the path, most people, they're not quite ready for a seclusion. It just is it's too intense for them. So I would say for you, just take a few hours every week and dedicate that to God. Longer meditation, longer time to read, to study, to do the postures. Just what seclusion is about is deepening your spiritual life and attuning yourself to God and gurus more deeply. Now, everybody can do that. If you just say once a week, and I would recommend once a week, do something 3 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, and just shut off the television, shut off the radio or whatever, and just take the time. I mean, honestly, if you want to know how to really go deep, you have to have that kind of time. It will really, really, it's like a purification. You just get cleansed and recharged, and you just feel very, very fulfilled and very uplifted. So that's why.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. The next question is, what is there to do all by yourself? I might get lonely because I'm used to being with people all the time.
Yeah, well, I did say what to do, but getting lonely, I really can't say that I ever got lonely. I mean, our life is so busy. I was just happy to be alone. Now, for some people who live with a lot of people, it might feel, I mean, at the beginning, any transition seems a little awkward, like, where is everybody? And how come I'm by myself? And why do I need to do this? But just try it. I remember a woman who she since passed away, but she was in charge of one of our meditation groups in America. And so we have these all the time. It's not something special once every 10 years, but we had these guided seclusions at Ananda Village, and we've had them here. But I have to say, people talk the whole time here. I wasn't that happy with that. It was a ladies' retreat, and they couldn't stop talking, even though we just said no, no talking. I remember no talking. So I said, no, we're not going to talk. And every time we'd see them, they'd be talking. Then no talking. So I mean, you have to be really serious about it. But this woman said to me, Diana, and she was very talkative, and she had a family. She was living with. She says, the only thing is I have to talk. I'll talk to you if I can't talk to you. I said, no, you're not going to talk to me. I said, you talk to God. And she said, I just can't be quiet. So the first couple of days, she kept trying to talk to me. And I said, no, son. She wasn't happy about that. But by day 3, she went into silence. We had a whole week. I couldn't get her out of silence by the end. She loved it. So these things, think of all the saints and the masters. They went up in the hills. They went and lived in a cave. They went away from the cities. They went into Mon. They went into silence. So just try it. If you never try it, you'll never know what it's going to be like. So try it. And being alone, I mean, we came into this world alone. We're going to leave alone. You may as well get used to being alone at some point, especially if you live with a lot of people. Just have some alone time other than when you're asleep. Maybe get up earlier so you can have the house to yourself, or stay up later. You'll find that you can hear the voice of God anytime, but if there's real deep silence, the light, the vibration, the presence of God, it just is more easily felt. Okay, I think that's what I'll say about that. Next one.
The next one, we have a live question as well, so I'll combine both of them.
Okay.
If I can't meditate that long, what to do, how to lengthen it? And the live question related to that is, while meditating, there are so many thoughts. How do I control them and meditate peacefully?
Yeah, so I would say in a seclusion time, and to answer both of these, do more yoga postures and do more energization and exercise. You need to dump the body. And if you can relax the body, the mind will start to relax. Do more pranayama. I mean, the seclusion is a time to do more, not less. No, I slept the whole time. It's just not. You really charge yourself up. And so as you do more, and this person who's asking the question, maybe you energize 3 times a day. just to, for a while, just until you feel like, okay, now I've got control again over my mind. And watch your, oh, I didn't bring this up, but watch your diet. I mean, really, in seclusion, if you're eating a lot of sugar, someone told me once, and I took this advice, but it was the wrong advice. They said, yeah, in my seclusion, I just ate fruit, and I was meditating so well. I ate fruit. I ate fruit for several days, and my heart was beating like crazy. It was, so was I meditating deeply? Of course I wasn't, because my heart was beating so hard. It was too much sugar. So just, you have to balance yourself. And I know this question is coming up a little bit later, but don't overdo on the sugar and the spices in your seclusion. That can cause a lot of restlessness, a lot of nervousness, a lot of thoughts that are coming and going. You have to start calming down. And these things that I mentioned will help you to calm down. And, you know, people are addicted to the phone. Am I right about this? I mean, people are just on all the time, and they're, you know, they can't even stop. It's become an addiction in our times. And so this also makes you nervous. You go, oh, what is this on the WhatsApp, on the message, on the email, oh, social media. You know, it just goes on and on. Nobody ever puts the phone, and the phone can't be far away. I mean, this is creating nervousness. And all the tweeting and the Facebook, it just goes, it's too much. So pull back on those things. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying just pull back until you feel, okay, I'm in control. Pull back on the sweet so that you're just not as, you know, nervous, and you go to meditate and you're still just shaking and nervous. You have to put out some effort. And I know people don't like this word. You have to have some discipline. Now, no one wants that word, but you have to discipline yourself a bit more. Don't do it too hard. Like if you imagine a racehorse, and it's just going, you know, and I took horseback riding. I never raced, but I rode horses a lot. And if you just if the horse is really galloping fast and you just go, stop, pull back on the reins, you'll get thrown off. You have to slowly work with the horse's energy until he's calmed down. And this is the mind. You can't just go, stop. You injure yourself. Next time you go in mentally, next time you go for meditation, the mind will go, no, I'm not going to do that. So just slowly rein yourself in on all levels, anything, on all the senses. Just slowly bring your energy back. And the wonderful thing about seclusion is you have the time to do it. Every day you're more inward, you're more deep, your meditations are better, you're more still, you're more calm, and you're more quiet. And so try that. And but don't injure yourself, just go step by step. And that's why it's good every week to do some, and you feel better and better. So the next one.
The next, and maybe this could be the last one, Dhyanaji.
Okay.
The question is, can I read books during a seclusion? And related to that, what books, talks, or music is recommended?
Wonderful. Yeah. I would say all those spiritual books of masters and Swamijis that you've longed to read and you never had the chance to read, bring them into your seclusion. Don't bring books that are not of our path to a seclusion. It's just not, well, you understand, not attuned with our path. And also the talks of masters and Swamijis, I would just listen to them every day, 3 times a day. Listen to one in the morning, one at noon, one in the night before you go to sleep. Maybe read a little bit. Here's one thing I didn't say, but it's easier if you have a schedule instead of, no, I'll just do whatever I want. Just have a schedule from the time you really want to start going deep. The mornings, so you have the 1 or 2 days of transition. In the mornings, I get up at this time, I energize, I do yoga, I do this, I meditate this many hours, or try at least. And then I have my breakfast listening to Swamiji. You see what I'm saying? Then afterwards, I read a little bit. And you see, then at noon, I go back, I do some more yoga, and I meditate, and I listen to Master. You see what I'm saying? And then at nighttime, I do my yoga, I energize, I meditate. Then I listen to Swamiji again, or Master. And then, so you get a routine, and you're so happy that you have Master and Swamiji in the seclusion with you, and you just get more acquainted with them, having it for sure in your schedule instead of you never listen to them. Then the last time I listened to 5 talks of Swamiji. So have a schedule, and I would say to close, try it. Whatever level works for you, try it. We're going into winter. Winter is the best time to meditate. Everything is more still, it's more quiet, including people, all of nature. It's dark early in the evening. This thing being dark at 5 o'clock in the evening, you can take 5 to 12 midnight and just have that time by yourself one night a week or something. Or winter just is drawing you inside. So my last advice to you is, for those who want, it's up to you, but try it. Try it and just have a taste of it. And as you have that taste, just try a little bit and say, oh, I like that. So then do a whole day. Oh, I like that. Then do 2 days. Oh, yeah, I liked it. Then do 3 days. So more and more as you do it, the more, if it feels good to you, then do more. Once a year, do some longish seclusion. Could be long, might be a weekend for you, might be a week. And you will find that, wow, that seclusion, as Swamiji said, it will last you energy-wise, magnetism-wise, joy-wise, attunement-wise. It'll last you a long, long, long time. And then it's like money in the bank. You just keep putting in that deposit. Every year or every month, you've had that deposit. Then some hard time comes, you have something to draw from. If you have never made a deposit, you go there, oh, there's nothing there to draw from. So seclusion gives you a big bank, you can say, of peace, of joy, and of the masters. God bless you all. And I hope you have a happy seclusion.
Thank you, Dhanji. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.